What's up, guys? So y'all read the title, you know what the hell we're talking about. So I decided to go see this movie just on a whim. I didn't see a trailer, I didn't see anything for it, which lately is becoming more and more fun to me, having no idea what a movie's about and being completely surprised by it. Real talk though, I am still not sure how I feel about this movie, like not totally. Like I want to say it's awesome, but there's really no point to the movie technically. But that's not the only movie that you can say that about, because The Big Lebowski, literally there was no point in that movie whatsoever. But that was kind of the core of the film, like it was a movie about nothing. So the movie plays out like this. The first 2 minutes is like this montage, and Rachel Weisz's character is in like 8 different scenarios that have nothing to do with each other. It kind of reminded me of like the opening for Cloud Atlas. Like it looked like a fucking anthology movie for a minute. So for the first 10 minutes, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? But in like that curious, like I really want to know kind of way. But despite whatever flaws people might have with the movie, the acting is flawless, like period. Rachel Weisz is in it, she's fucking awesome. Michael Shannon's in it, and he's just a champion at life. In very, very minute parts, there's Kathy Bates and Danny Glover. And the rest of the people are just kind of like faces that you recognize, but you don't know their names. But everybody did their job in this movie, like nobody just came with their fucking C-level game. For example, there is a dinner scene. It's like 8 people are sitting around a table, and something is up between Michael Shannon and Rachel Weisz. You're not sure though. Because for the first few minutes of the movie, it appears that they don't know each other. But when they first meet, Michael Shannon has this look on his face, and this just is another attribute to how awesome of a fucking actor he is. He has this slight facial recognition, like I know you from something. And during that dinner scene that takes place a couple minutes later, you're like, okay, either Rachel Weisz is a long-lost cousin, a criminal, somebody he thought was dead, or somebody he used to bone. It's one of those things. And this scene was particularly well written, because you can tell he's like slowly trying to like dig up dirt on Rachel Weisz, but it's not like a total barrage. Like he's not really confronting it face to face. Like this is like a legitimate dinner party. The conversations that are had throughout the night are very believable, and they are the things that you would have at a fucking friend's dinner party. And the way Rachel Weisz gets asked questions just is weaved into the conversation is really fucking good. Like it sounds just like a normal dinner conversation, but the camera just so happens to be on either Weisz or Shannon. So for the viewer, you know that something's up, but within this dinner party, nobody knows what the fuck is going on. So I thought that was brilliant. And this movie really has this emphasis on identity loss and figuring yourself out, which I can identify with because I'm in my 20s and I don't know what the fuck I want to do with the rest of my life. Because Rachel Weisz's character kind of illustrates the spontaneity of life, and Michael Shannon's character kind of portrays the mundane reality about life. And when you see those two contrasts kind of interacting, you see it's not quite as black and white as you might think. And this movie alludes a lot of things too. Like for some reason, it's not sci-fi at all, but it just felt like this very Blade Runner-y kind of thing where it just kind of raises more questions than it answers. Like the majority of the movie felt like the final cut of Blade Runner, because it's just like you don't really know. It's like you've been given a placemat, you know you're getting a meal, but you don't know what the meal's gonna be. However, all that being said, this movie did feel like it kind of left something to be desired. But then again, so did Blade Runner, because people have fan theories about that have still been unsolved to this day. I feel like it took place in like too short of a time, because the main linear story only takes place over the course of like a couple days, maybe? Or it might even be a few hours. Like it didn't really convey the idea of time very well. But that was actually one of the mysteries of the movie, because the whole montage in the beginning, those things did happen, but you're not supposed to know when. So maybe that was intentional, I don't know. Because I felt like the Kathy Bates Danny Glover scene was like kind of rushed. However, that scene is crucial to the movie because it shows how Michael Shannon's character can kind of venture out of his like mundane reality a little bit. I know that sounds really cryptic and weird, but like you just need to see the movie to understand what I'm talking about. I literally cannot put my finger on it, but something about this movie just felt out of place. But maybe that was the idea they were going for, because Rachel Weisz is portrayed as like this foreign object to an otherwise normal life. And without giving anything away, I'm not sure how to feel about the ending. I almost didn't know what to make of it. Like it just felt bizarre to me. But I really like the concept that this movie is really about just finding some kind of sense of self, but not being totally like unconscious of the world around you. And it also begs the question of, does every human being need to be grounded? Does everybody need to be tied down to something? I'm of the firm belief that humanity is not meant to be alone, whether it's a single person or like 10 people or whatever, because it is pretty ingrained in like the human psyche to have like a tribal instinct, and that's just natural for us. Like nobody is really a singular person. Everything you do, you interact with something. But anyway, so the movie felt like it was a little bit compressed, and the pacing was a little goofy sometimes, but the music was good, and I have to say, I really want to go see this movie again. And I really did like the two main characters like arc throughout the entire film. Because like I said, the end brings a little bit of closure, but not really. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was like, I had to like let it all sink in for a little while, but I was just like, that was a really, really interesting movie. But I gotta be honest, I'm struggling with a rating because like, it's either pure genius or just good. I think for right now, I'm gonna give it an 8.1, but that score might change, and I'll put it in like an an annotation somewhere in the video. Because as kooky as some of the things in the movie were, this movie really got my brain working for some reason. Like, I have no idea why. But it got me. It hooked me, and fuck, I want to go see it again. I don't know if I can really recommend this movie for a particular person. Like, I would say just go see this movie. I have no idea how you're gonna feel about it. I came out intrigued. Take that however you will. Alright guys, I'm done yapping for today. That's my 2 cents. Hope it was worth it. If you did see this movie, please leave me a comment because I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Other than that, just like, subscribe, do all that other shit, and I'll catch you guys later.